Hello stampers! I'm back at using the Hills of Tuscany stamp set. I just love this set. It has so many features in it, and I'll show it to you right here. It has clouds and hills and mountains and trees and a house, sentiments, a sun, about everything you need to create some wonderful scenes. I play with this quite a bit, and this is a card that I came up with today, and I just love the way this front of us is folded down, then it folds over. Really cute, just a little fold, and super simple to do. I'm going to walk you through that step by step today, but I want to show you a couple other things. Over on my blog, you will find that I do exclusive tutorials for my customers, and all you have to do is place an order with me for the month, and you'll get 4 exclusive tutorials from me, and these are only for my customers and my downline. My downline also get them, but here's one I used the Hills of Tuscany for. So if you want these tutorials, just go over and place an order. Now this group of cards will only be on my blog until February 29th. So just a few more days and they'll be gone. But I'll start a new set on March 1st. So here's one that I used the paintbrushes in from the tool set that we have. And then here's one with the mushrooms, really cute. And then we have this one here. So these are 3 of the ones that I'm putting on there for my exclusive tutorials for the month. So pop on over to my blog at zindorfstamps.com. And you can get a link to it down below this video. Just click more under the description. You'll see it there that you can click on. But like I said, you just place any order with me this month and you can get those exclusive tutorials from me. So we're going to start with our little card here. I just did adjust the note sentiment on this, but you could use this for so many different occasions, like happy birthday or whatever. So we're going to start with our actual card base today, and I have a Lost Lagoon card base, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, and then I folded it in half to create my quarter card. And this top here, we're going to fold down, but first thing I want to do is I'm going to just do a little stenciling on it. I have this great stencil here that it comes out of the Artistic Mix Decorative Mask, and you'll find a link to this product also down below this video. When you click more, you're going to get the dimensions for the card and all of the links to the products that I'm using today. So I'm going to go ahead and put this mask on top of my card base there. That's a Lost Lagoon card base. And I'm going to use Lost Lagoon just to make a little pattern in the background here. Now I'm just doing the front of the card, so I've kept it folded. And I'm not gluing, I'm not taping this mask down or anything. I'm just going to hold it and do this. And if you start over here on the left side, go down the left side first, then ink up again and kind of do this bottom half, then you're really done, because we're going to fold that top right corner back. So there is our little decorative print. Isn't that cute? And it took nothing to do. So Lost Lagoon and a blending brush, and this come out of the Artistic Mix Decorative Mask. This has 5 different masks in it, so I just love the mask. I think they're a great deal. And they're easy to store too, which makes me happy. You can have a lot of masks that you in very little space. Now I'm going to just fold this back. I'm going to fold and leave like a 1/2 inch here of the card base, and then I'm going to fold this down. I'm just going to kind of hold this straight and then fold that. Then I'm going to go ahead and use a tool here and varnish that. And then I'm going to add a little glue, because I'm just going to glue that down. I'm just going to add some on this underside here. I'm using multi-purpose glue, but you can use any adhesive you like, because you're just like tacking that down. just so it doesn't flip up. So there is that, and I'm going to go ahead and add my panels on the inside. And I have a pool party panel that's 3 3/4 by 5, and then a Smoky Slate panel that is 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to layer these up and put them on the inside of my card here. Let's add a heart in there for some love. Since I did just a note, and I'm using this as a note card, I'm not going to put anything in here because I'll be writing in this to the person I'm sending it to. But if you're going to stamp a sentiment, I'd do that before you put this in the card. That way, if you get it crooked or something, you have another shot at it by flipping the cardstock over. So stamp before you stick. So, okay, there's our card base all ready for our other things. So we're going to go ahead and do our main little panel here. Now this is very small. It's 3 by 3. It looks larger because we're going to put it right up at the top of the cardstock. But what we're going to do is we're going to stamp some images on here. Now I'm going to use the Hills of Tuscany, and we're going to use these clouds right here. Actually, it's the sky. I shouldn't say clouds. This is the sky, and the little blank parts that will create like clouds in your scene. So I'm going to use Smoky Slate for this. So I'm just going to ink this up. And I just thought it'd be nice to have a little gray sky. So I'm going to put this up here, and I'm going to go pretty high because this is a small panel. So I'm kind of cutting off this whole long strip at the top. So that way our sky is a little shorter. Okay, so we have that done. That was with Smoky Slate. And next I'm going to grab some crumb cake and my Lost Lagoon ink. I'm going to use both of these for our next stamped images. I'm going to use this big hill here. And I'm going to load it first with crumb cake. And because I want this two-toned. And this stamp comes to this two-tone bit very easily. So I've got the crumb cake on there, and then I'm just going to hit the top of the hill just a little bit with that Lost Lagoon pad, just to give it a little color at the top. I think that works out really good. And I'm going to stamp this so it covers part of those clouds there, and it comes over about 3/4 of our scene. So there's that. Let's see how that's two-tone. It gives you like a grassy look at the top and gives you like some rock formations down here at the bottom. Now that was the large hill. Now we have the smaller hill here that we're going to be stamping coming in from the other side. And I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to load it with crumb cake. I just love these images that the shading is already in there for where it looks like rocks and such. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that to where those 2 points meet for those two hills there. So there is that. Super simple. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Lost Lagoon ink pad. I'm just going to use this edge here. Now you could certainly use a blending brush to do this, but I like to do this with direct to paper technique, to where I'm just dragging my ink pad across the paper. Now when I do this, I have it at a good tilt. I don't have it laying flat. If you lay it flat, you're just going to have a solid area. So make sure you're tilting your ink pad really well and you're using light strokes. And you're just coming across that, and you're going to go up to that hill. And when you do that, you get these nice streaks in your water. Again, if you're not comfortable with that, just go ahead and use a blending brush or a sponge and just do it one direction across there to get those streaks. Okay, so we have that done. Oh, now we're going to stamp our little island in the center of our scene here. And I'm going to use a stamp for that too. I have this little stamp here. It looks like little bushes maybe together. And I'm going to stamp this a few times using Memento Tuxedo Black. That's going to give a little island for our little trees to be on. And I'm going to kind of come up here and I'm just going to touch those hills, the bottom of the hills with this. And you can stamp this a few times if you miss your mark. So there is that. And then I'm going to turn it upside down and give it a stamp down here and then fill in the middle. Like I said, you can continue to stamp and stamp and stamp until you get that filled in. And let's see. There we go. Kind of like that. So there is our little island. And I'm going to use that same Memento Tuxedo Black and I'm going to stamp my trees. Now this set of trees just has the 3 trees in it, and there is 2 groupings. There's one with 3 and one with 5. I'm using the one with 3 here. You can do so much with these trees and such, and I'm just going to stamp them at the top of my little island there. And then I'm going to change up colors here. I'm just going to stamp this off a few times to get rid of that black on my stamp. I'm going to use Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to turn this upside down. And I'm going to kind of line up the trees, trunks, as I stamp this. And that way it looks like you have a reflection going on with your trees. So super simple for that scene. Since there's 2 short trees and 1 long tree, you just turn it upside down to get your reflection. So there is our scene. We have that done. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this on a Smoky Slate panel. This was 3-inch square basic white, and the Smoky Slate is 3 1/8, so it's just a little bit larger than this panel here, just to trim it out just a little bit. There we go. I'm going to add this on my card here. I'm just going to open up my card. And I'm going to add it on here. Now I kind of like to put it on so that my corners meet up with the corners on this. And then I'm just going to put some glue on this bottom part here that's going to be on the card. And add it on. There we go. And then I have a Lost Lagoon square. Now this is just to cover up this here. So I'm going to use it, and I'm going to have it just come out just a tiny bit beyond our little seam there. So when I put this on, I can put glue over the whole thing pretty much to glue it on. I'm going to come in a bit just so it doesn't stick out there. So add some glue. See if we can center that up a bit. There we go. And that's how we get that on. So we have that on. See how that looks so much nicer with that Lost Lagoon square on there. Let's go ahead and decorate the bottom here with our sentiment. I went ahead and used the bow punch I have it right here. This has been one of my favorites to use, just to fill in areas, to use behind sentiments. It's just been a great punch. It's called the Bow Punch, and I'll have a link down below. But I went ahead and used this. I cut the large piece out of Pool Party, just so it coordinates with my card. So I use Pool Party for that. And then I cut 4 of those, and I cut 4 of the little one that's on this punch out of white. So we're going to put those on our card. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue these on. And when I glue them, I'm only gluing the bottom part of the stem and the bottom 2 leaves, just so I like them to be kind of loose elsewhere. You can go ahead and glue the whole thing down if you want to. But I'm going to use these. Make sure you don't go outside of your card, so it won't fit in your envelope. But I'm just adding these bow punches here. I'm going to add 2 on each side. And I'm kind of crossing them over there in the middle. I'm going to do the same with these other 2. I love that Pool Party with that Lost Lagoon. I think it's just really perfect. Okay, I'm going to add these on to where they come out to the edge here too. Now I am going up onto where that fold is a bit. So there is 3 and 1 more here. Not just a pretty punch. Okay, so we have those on there. Now we got our little white ones. And I'm just adding a little glue to that stem too. I'm going to bring these out pretty far. If I have them way in here into the middle, then our sentiment will cover a lot of that up, and I don't want that to happen. It's amazing how many times I've used this punch. I've used it over and over and over and over again. Do you love when you have a product that you can do that and you really feel like you're getting your money's worth? This punch has been that for me. Okay, so we have those on there, and now we're going to create our sentiment. And for our sentiment, you could use, the sentiments that are in the Hills of Tuscany, but I went to the Go-To Greeting stamp set. I just love the fonts in this. And we're going to be using the Just a Note one. Isn't this a pretty one? Go-To Greetings is right. I go to this all the time. So, Memento Tuxedo Black is what I'm stamping this in. And I have a little Smoky Slate piece here, and it's 3/4 of an inch by 2 inches. We'll just stamp this on here. And I have a little edge there that I must have rocked my stamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over and give it another stamp. Here we go. That's better. And this is going to go right here in the middle. So I'm going to add this on with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Add 3 dimensionals there. And you can also use, like a die cut or something to do your sentiment on. I just kept this really quite plain. Just used a little rectangle. I'm just going to add those over my flowers. See if I can get this nice and straight here. And there we go. There's our sentiment on there. Now, doesn't that look pretty? I hope you enjoyed this project and that you give it a try. Thanks for joining me today. Take care. Toodles.